right, folks, calling the meeting to order.
Code, that's code word.
I'm reading from the script. All right. The agenda, which I sent around, had the first item being the harbor ordinances, and I'll speak to that, and just so that everybody's aware, they're done and dusted. Sealed, passed, notified, it's all done. So,
John's getting a gun for next summer.
congratulations congratulations to everybody for their hard work.
Johnny, you now officially a constable rather than harbor
It
master?
certainly is.
Yeah, I was constable before it was even a real thing.
Okay, so,
Yeah. The only thing I'm concerned about is they have, as part of this process, I had to send out via some way, email, etc., with the new ordinances. And I saw the email that you said where someone was given the direction to update
In
the
the
Unicode.
Unicode, yeah.
It hasn't been done yet.
I know. I just, before I came here, I sent a message back to Patty Gog and
Oh,
said,
great.
who exactly owns the process of loading it up into Unicode? I'm concerned it's me, but it's actually hopefully them, right? It's hopefully the town council.
It can't be you.
It can't be me.
No.
I wouldn't know how to do it, so anyway, trying to prod the process, and I'll let you know as soon as I find out the answer, but that, I noticed that too, John, so I went back to Jennifer and the other folks in town hall about how does it actually get up there, who owns that process?
Yeah. Because I also need to do it for the state of Connecticut too, to give them the wording for the speed zone, just so that it gets published in the Connecticut Boating Guide. So I kind of need it out there to point to it to the state.
Send a
and
link.
also- Yeah, send
Okay.
a link and also for renewals.
Okay, well, we'll chase that down over the short order.
What will you do in the spring to mark that area?
Well, I've got to get it approved first, which can take up to 60 days. And then once it's approved, I have to get the buoy lady to come down and do a site visit so I can show her where I want to put the buoys.
That's the formal
And then
title.
she
of the
will-
movie.
Is that Sue? Is that Sue?
No, it is, you need to ask me what happened
Well,
in my head. But anyway.
But
a state agency.
It's, yeah, it's deep. So they have to come down, they have to approve it, and then you actually get a certificate showing where, so what they'll do is they have a chart, they have all the current buoys that we have, both speed and hazard, and then they will update it and add the 2 more or 3 more that we're adding if we do the hazard out in front of the beach there.
Great.
So it takes time,
Well,
and that's why I wanna
sure,
move it along, because I
Okay.
don't want to lose 2026.
of course. Okay, well, I'd expect to hear back from them. Today is Thursday, they're not working Friday, so next week.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Okay. Dredging update is sort of tied into Pear Tree Beach. You guys have all seen the machinery that is all across Pear Tree? So it's
I did.
going.
Okay.
It is going. And,
the ramps pulled up, which is nice to see, just dirt.
yeah, I mean, they are jamming ahead, and that's great to see. So, as far as I know, each piece will be completed on time. And it's early in the process.
They haven't really had any bad weather that has prevented them from doing anything, so I think that's
No.
good.
No, I took the holiday.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, with the 40-knot winds will be interesting,
Yeah.
but the snow didn't stop them on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, I think we can
Yeah,
knock on wood and be optimistic.
yeah, the boat ramp is a tide-dependent job. You have a good week and you have a bad week, and you have a good week and a bad week. Just in terms of timing and efficiency for the guys to start at 7 o'clock and wrap up by 3. But I believe that's all, it's already been hogged out and reshaped. Now they gotta start placing the concrete panels back down. So that's moving along, but sort of every other week.
And the object was to increase the slope.
Yeah, moderately, yeah. And I think I heard that there was like a big ledge in the middle of it. That's kind of what they ran into the last time.
Oh, really?
But
Interesting.
it sounds like that wasn't an issue now, so that they got
Okay.
the pitch correct generally.
In other words, there wasn't really a ledge, though, it's just an excuse.
It's
ledge.
a-
Or they've got the right equipment this time,
Get it
either way.
The issue was the money.
Yeah.
It was like another 125 to another 150 to do what they're going to do now.
Okay.
They made that little park, they put the concrete pads down, but they never changed the grade, the slope. And to change the slope was another 125, and the Board of Finance back in, I think it was 2005 or 6, didn't want to spend the extra money to do it.
Okay.
So that's why we're back, paying more now than the original budget back in 2006.
That's going on concurrently with the dredging effort now. So that's all in the works, and I think they're gonna be doing more other jobs concurrently than they thought they'd be doing, which means potentially an earlier finish date, which everybody would be cool with, so.
That would be outstanding.
Yep, I mean, I didn't expect them to have the whole parking lot closed off just yet.
Yep.
But they've already got their sediment and erosion control plan in place with the hay bales, and they started surveying all around that area, so I imagine you'll start seeing digging in the parking lot and setting structures for drainage.
Well, there was that announcement by the town that showed just like 14 slots at the far southeastern corner of the parking lot have been reserved for cars, and otherwise, no.
It's just for a couple of weeks, and then those are gone.
And then those are gone.
That's really temporary.
Are
So,
they actually pulling out the asphalt that's there, and, or are they just putting stuff on top?
That's a question I keep meaning to ask and I keep forgetting.
I thought I saw asphalt in some of the hoppers they had, so I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, because there's
No matter
underground,
what, you have to.
underground power, water, cable, sewage,
Right,
that goes to the boat club.
yeah, and to the other.
To the
Back
shack,
out
at least for
somewhere.
power, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know if it's pull all
and
out.
they need to, and then remember, part of the design is, I think it's 3, but it might be 4 big drains down the middle,
Right.
which have to be excavated, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I think.
Those places will certainly remove the asphalt. I just don't know if the rest of the spot is just perforating, or I'll just punch a bunch of holes in it, but they can't really leave an impervious layer below another, it's supposed to be a little
Well,
bit more
that's
drained
interesting.
underneath. So I'll get an answer on that at the next Pear Tree meeting, or if I talk to the contractor before that, I'll let you know.
Yeah, and if if you catch something that's like on TV 79 that's directly related to the progress and circulate it around, that would be great.
Certainly.
Okay, the next thing that I have is the shoreline pickup, which was led by David. The shoreline pickup of the 600 pounds of trash that we did back in the beginning of November.
We had a good day, that's great. We got a lot of trash, and I give Bill credit for bringing in some people who otherwise wouldn't have been there. We had some teens and a family with kids, and,
I think the family came from the Marin Yacht Club, didn't they?
okay.
Like, I went to the high school, but I think we had some, or the boat club, but anyway.
Well, it was nice to have some additional
great.
I think it was
participation.
Boat
and-
Club,
Yeah.
and it was great. And I think we might be able to work on figuring out a way to boost participation in the spring, like, for example, have it included as an activity in the weekly Darien newsletter that Jay-Z puts out.
Well, and frankly, you could put it in both the boat club and the yacht clubs.
And the boat club, and then, yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of extra geography that we could clean.
Well, there was still plenty of trash out there, I
And
think,
didn't you
still
say
after.
Juniper Road still had a lot to do?
I mean, there's just an endless amount of little pieces of styrofoam, and if you wanted to pull up some of those reeds, I'm afraid to see what you'd even find under there.
And if you want, with a little bit of notice, if you want to go across to the island and around the north point, there's big stretches of high tide bush there that has got a lot of garbage in it. So just walking over and out around the north side of the island there.
So I think the concern was if we had a bunch of people join that there might not be enough stuff, and I think the moral of the story is there's always plenty of stuff to be
Yeah.
picked up.
But it's interesting though, if we can get more people, like another, let's say 5 or 10, probably there's gotta be a couple of us who are marshaling them.
Yeah,
Showing them where to go and timing it out, because it sort of almost has that capacity that way. We're all sort of enjoying just letting it flow, but it's gonna become a little more structured, I think, if we get another 5 or 10 people.
Right.
All a good program.
And I can probably get the yacht club pickup, but we could probably wind up using 2 or 3 pickups if we have a size, if we meaningfully change the size of the number of people who are helping.
Well, you know, one thing that the land trust has done, just to have in mind, is when we've cleaned up our properties and had lots of like tires and big bulky garbage, we have been able to like pile it at the side of the road, and have the town will then send one of their dump trucks with a couple guys and just take it away. So
That's a good idea.
if we find that we have a lot of bulky stuff, the town can sometimes help us.
I will say that it was nice, didn't the pickup truck, you helped aggregate what we had gotten to one spot, so we get that great picture, which I think really goes a long way in, you know, publicizing the event and recognizing it. So it'd still be great to give a pickup to have this like, you know, intermediate transfer to one central end spot.
Well, I also have a dump wagon that just goes on any ball hitch. So, and that can take like 1,500 pounds. So that,
Not on your Prius, would it?
no, I'm in
Another
the
car. I'm just trying to imagine that, because that
I average out at like a normal car's mileage. So, but my trailer's always around to use. We can move a lot of garbage for that.
well, should we try to pick another date for kind of
Yeah.
late April, beginning of May?
Do you know the time schedule?
I haven't looked, but I can and can.
Why don't you do exactly that and propose a date late?
The one thing I would just say is we shouldn't go too far into May, because once that high tide bush starts to leaf out,
Yeah.
you just can't see anything.
All right, I'll shoot a date around.
Late April, low tide, morning, weekend.
It's too early to go into Great Island or something like that, or?
Great Island does not have that much garbage at it, at least I haven't seen.
It's
when I
very
walked
rocky.
around.
Yeah.
Rocky
Yeah.
Shores. Well, not only Rocky Shores, it doesn't really have any rivers flowing down. But I do think 2 people with a big plastic bag walking the perimeter and picking up whatever they see can't be bad. It's just the volume won't be as high as it would be on the Juniper Road area, the Weed Beach. And of course, whatever we can do going north from the boat club.
The land trust has another property on Holly Pond, which is loaded with garbage.
Where?
It's, you know, as you drive down near water, there's the land trust property, there's 2 land trust
Yeah.
properties that are kind of open. One's like a lawn with, there's a house that you come to, and behind that house, we own the entire point that goes out there. And that point, it's all about where does the wind blow the garbage that comes down the rivers. And so garbage comes down the Norotan River. If it's a northwesterly wind, which it usually is in the winter, it blows it right over into that property and it has tons of high tide bush. It just catches the garbage. You
Well,
can't-
we should definitely go there.
Yeah, so that's another one we can easily add.
Good.
Especially if access, yeah, depends on what access is like at Pear Tree at that point. They might just be wrapping up, might still have trucks, might have fence, so.
Yeah, we may not be able to gather there or efficiently walk north from there.
Right.
But it sounds like with the addition of
Alternative.
Juniper Road, the Land Trust in Holly Pond, Wee Beach,
And going around the north side of the Juniper Road Island. That there's a
we
lot of
need the
garbage.
owner's permission.
Yeah, but, yes, but we can get that if we have a couple of weeks notice. That should be fine.
Okay, good. Okay, so David, you'll
I'll follow up.
figure that out. One thing I didn't have on the agenda, but I'm curious about is there anything that we as a group should talk about related to shellfish?
I have three things. The first thing is Tessa Getchus had sent around a request for town permit information from 2014 to 2024. I guess it's like their version of the plan of conservation, that they do a 10-year plan. So I reached out to Mindy, she's out till December 30th, so I reached out to Penny, who I think is the administrator in that office, so I'll see what she can help provide, but Tessa was looking for that for Tuesday.
And why does she want it?
I believe they ask all the municipalities for that data as part of a larger amalgamation of information that they're trying to figure out, I guess, an economic impact of town shellfishing permitting. So they're gonna put all that information together. And I'll see what I can do.
Or 25 licenses.
Right, yeah, I mean, over the last 10 years, maybe it's 250, we'll see. But that's the one thing, the gathering of shellfish commissions is in January. Sorry, I never wrote back to you now, but that flew back across my desk. And the last thing is, I haven't been the best shellfish commissioner, and I've taken on a couple other bigger projects, so I would actually like to pass that baton off to somebody on the commission that may or may not be interested in doing it. Or I can share the load with somebody else, but I'm taking on a couple other projects lately.
You have, and you're, what, Vice Commodore or Rear Commodore at the yacht club?
Rear
At
Commodore.
the boat club?
Boat club, yeah, rear Commodore, so
That's a lot.
that, and then baby, new house.
That's the big
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't wanna lay it on too thick, but it's, yeah, a couple things have
It's a lot.
jumped on, so.
Well, that's fair enough, okay.
And it's not a whole lot, but it's just.
Let's see, who's not here? Rob?
Rob's,
Yeah, we'll have to decide tonight, I could keep going for another couple of months, but yeah.
He's from Rhode Island, he knows about shellfishing.
Last item, meeting schedule for next year. Flip mentioned the idea of meeting every other month, and that's fine with me. Are there reasons to do more or less than that? That would be 6.
I would say meeting in the summer months maybe more consistently and maybe less so in
and maybe
February, March,
maybe you
and-
skip January, February, and then have 2 months in a row in the summer or something. 3 months in a row, the 2 months every other month, and then fill in.
What were you thinking?
I'm just thinking it's, when we are collectively out on the
No,
water.
tell me what you propose.
Oh, I would say something like, well, when are we out of the water? May, June, July. Nobody wants to meet in August. September, December, or November.
May, June, July, September.
October, and like March.
Something like that.
You're gonna wanna do one before the cleanup as well, so March.
March, May, June, July, September, October. Or
John?
September, November.
John, is there a fit of your activities that sort of would necessitate, or would help us for like to meet the month before you have to do something?
Nothing I can think of right now. I mean, I'm expecting this year to be a little bit calmer than the past two.
That was the kiss of death.
I mean, I should technically have more time on my hands now, so I can't think of anything.
So just to see if I'm getting a consensus here, it was the proposal that the first meeting be March,
Works for me.
April,
March, May, June, July.
May, June, July,
That's 4, right?
that's 4.
September, November.
September, October.
I think we're at 5, March, April, May, June, July.
I've got March, May.
Oh, I'm sorry.
March, May, June, July, and then if we just have 2 in the fall, if we have like a November being a post-cleanup meeting, and October, September,
Yeah.
September, and November.
Yeah, if you do September, October, then that's 4 months until the next
And,
meeting after that.
and is Thursdays a good day? We picked Thursday either last year or the year before because it didn't conflict with RTM meetings, and someone else had some other conflict. Is that okay to stick with Thursdays?
Fine with me?
Still good.
And we had typically picked, didn't we agree on, again, for RTM reasons, I think, like the 3rd Thursday of each month? Was that, I think that's more or less what we've done this time.
That still works.
2nd or 3rd,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No issue?
absent holidays. Okay, then I will send out I'll circulate what I think are the days that we're actually talking about. And you're gonna circulate
I will.
a proposal for maybe 1 or 2 cleanup days.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna check Muni code
Mhm.
and try to push that along.
One thing we should probably talk about in addition to the calendar of meetings is like, what do we actually want to try to do next year? Obviously, we have cleanup, maybe 2, that would be great. To me, one of the projects, and I don't know, John, how you would feel about this, that I would still love to like see us collectively grab onto is trying to get permitting to move the outside red and green buoys in the harbor and put those in more rational
Mhm.
locations. That seems like a,
Closer together, would that be the?
yeah, closer together. I think it will,
And the red out further.
yeah, line them up so they're more square to the actual
That's a good
harbor
thing.
entrance. But I also think it will create more mooring spaces out there, because the red one is sort of like in the middle of where you would
You
put
can't
more-
see
The
the red
second-
from
this-
any
this-
distance.
The second can coming in is right in the middle of the mooring field.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I
So how do
think,
we work on that?
well,
And is
I
it
think
us?
He's already got the mooring lady.
it's,
Well, that's,
The
no,
buoy
no,
lady.
this is
no,
our,
this is Coast Guard.
this is
This is
Coast Guard.
Oh, because it's their markers, right?
So, I mean, that's part of the project, which is to figure out who you have to actually talk to.
Yeah,
And what
we
permit
talked
you
about
need.
this a couple months ago or last year or something, and I was starting that process, and I'm sorry, I totally
Yeah, no, but
let that fall behind.
well,
but
we've been busy
I'm
on
gonna
other
try and
things.
get back in touch with the Coast Guard folks that I might be able to grab hold of, or the navigation folks that are.
Yeah, they may be under marching orders just to pull them out these days.
But the goal is generally just to reload, put them in the right spot.
Yeah,
They're not really marking a rock or a super.
The green is
strong
marking
boundary.
rocks.
Green is, right?
No.
The red is.
Well-
Well, it's right off the end of the clubs.
it's off the end of it, but it's not, it's sort of in a place where there's not really any rock. There's a separate rock buoy over there.
Yeah, there's
Right.
a hazard buoy over there.
Would you say the red
It's
has
a-
drifted off
it's a
station, or has it always been over
The
there?
red's not very visible, you don't
I
pick it
think
up by
they
your
You
eye.
can't see it.
Yeah,
Part
it's not a
of,
good.
part of the reason that they're not visible is they're just not in where you visually think the channel should be.
Yeah,
Agreed,
Um,
for
So
sure.
I think they've been there forever. I don't remember them being in different places. I don't know when they got put there.
No.
that's a great project, I think we should do that.
Just a
I
different.
think it's great that
just
we
a
have a
different
range
color,
light
that's all.
in the harbor, that's very cool.
Yeah,
Not everybody has a range.
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, what?
There's
Do you
a-
find it works for you?
I think it's great.
What are you talking about?
The rangefinder.
The range light, the two red lights at the yacht club that line up to give you whether you're left or right of channel.
Never knew that existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And if you follow it directly in, you'll run over each one of the center
Yeah,
channel
you'll be
buoys.
right in the middle.
So you know they're in the right place.
Perfect. It's right exactly where they should be, right? Yeah. But I'll run that back and I'll see what I can figure out.
Yeah, so I mean, that just is one thing I have on my mind.
I think it's a great idea.
I still think we should be trying to find and put more boats into the empty mooring spaces out there. I'm still working on
Yep, I'll do that.
18 new moorings.
Well, that would help with the wait list, which is what now?
Well, I was gonna go over that, so, the wait list is now 177. That's 110 for Darien Harbor, 13 for Norotan Bay, 34 for Ziegler's, 19 for Scott's, and 1 for Holly Pond. There's a total of 249 approved. I have 20 on hold, but I'm gonna clean that up. That's probably gonna come more down to like 10. But of course, you know, as the season begins, I'll start getting waitlist applications. But one thing I am gonna be doing is I'm gonna try to take a stroll down to Great Island this weekend and just do a survey of the buoys in Ziegler's Cove to see who has winter sticked their buoys, because I sent a note out at the beginning of this past season saying, you need to get yourself a contractor, you need to get your winter sticked and everything like that. And somebody on Facebook, that the group, I think it's what is it, you know you are from Darien or something like that. Somebody took a picture of Ziegler's Cove, and I saw 2 mooring buoys. So I'm wondering how many there are. So I'm gonna find out how many there are, try and identify them from afar, and let those people know. But the other thing we need to work on now that the ordinances are done, it's the mooring standards. So we've got our standards for berthing. Want to develop a standard for day moorings. We've long talked about, beefing up the standards for Ziegler's Cove because it's deep, narrow, and congested. So the standards have to be different over there than they would be, say, Darien Harbor or even, Scott's Cove. So we need to think about that as well. Might have to get an artist to draw up,
It's amazing what you could do with AI these days.
Yeah, I haven't tried that, but, I imagine you could.
I think at some point in the last 2 years, I basically retyped the mooring standards document so that it's in Word format
nice.
now. So we can
Nice.
start with that whenever.
Yeah, so we could, do some minor changes that we've talked about with the standards for the harbor,
I'm
better
just-
definitions of the type of line we should use, standards on chain and shackles and stuff like that.
Maybe what we should do, I'm gonna make a recommendation going 2 directions. One is, maybe you and I take a crack at redlining it, and then let's work it as a whole group, not having like a subcommittee to, once we get an initial document to look at, we can circulate a red line to everybody. Everybody can weigh in.
Sounds good.
And then there's one other project which I've almost forgotten about by now, but I think in one of our conversations with Sue Jacobson and with Jay-Z, Sue mentioned a way we could be more like having a harbor commission without having a harbor commission. And I think we should continue to explore, ways to kind of get more in, let me say, in the fold of a normal harbor management commission without tripping the trips.
Just in terms of practices, right?
Not only that, there are, thank you for mentioning this, I had forgotten. There are a couple of harbors that aren't big harbors. I think it's the small harbors that have done it, but which have things which they view as being analogous to a harbor management plan, but are definitely not. It's like, I think Lyme or Saybrook might be one
Yeah.
of them.
Yep.
And there are some other few that are down the,
Sue was gonna give us, she was gonna send us those documents. I'm not sure I remember seeing those, but.
I have a feeling that I may have seen at least one of them. So that means
So
I'll go back and look.
I just think that would be another good thing for us to follow up with next year, to try to figure that dilemma out.
What did she refer to it as? Was it
I
Saybrook?
can't, yeah, it was one of the towns up the
Further
Connecticut
east.
River. And so it kind of seemed like it was a hybrid solution. It was not a formal management plan, but it was more than just like this ad hoc thing. And yes, it may give us more, I don't know, more teeth to do something.
It's a good point. What's it called? Okay, I'll circulate a minutes sometime in the next couple weeks that will put down at least some of the things that we've talked about here that I've written down. And if I am able to find that document that, not Sue, it was her deputy, Brandon, someone like that actually did, I think, send out. That we can circulate it and you guys can go, and think about it and see whether or not it's a shoe that might fit.
Did anyone attend that dredging Zoom that they did?
Forgot all that.
I intended to, and I just spaced it.
When was that?
It was over a month ago.
Ah, really missed it.
Yeah.
I don't think I heard about it.
Was it a Darien thing?
No, it was actually state, it was actually a state thing, but there are a number of people who were invited to it. I got invited to it through the Harbor Masters group, but they also sent it out to other people in town. And thought I remember a few people talking about it.
If I was,
I missed it,
if I was invited, I don't, it's
yeah.
right over my head. I don't remember it.
Do you remember it?
I was just pulling it up, it was November, Connecticut Marine Trades Association, so it's, I guess, hosted in conjunction with DEP. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the whole state has a big dredging problem, because everything,
Has a big what?
dredging problem, the whole state needs to be dredged, every harbor is asking to do it. And there's kind of nowhere to put it unless you put out big CAD cells in the center of Long Island Sound, or you take it way out, or you dispose of it upland, so it's like a statewide.
Well, and
Conversation.
and the New York State people are all trying to shut all of that down.
Right. I'd say a lot of sedimentation from river, just geographically runs down and then fills the sound, and there's kind of not a lot of places to put it.
Well,
So-
we have some fairly significant rivers here too that go into the sound,
Right,
not least the Connecticut.
right.
Well, I know that the Save the Sound people are working, I think in New Haven Harbor, to try to use some of that clean sediment, dredge spoils to supplement shoreline mud flats and stuff like that. So they're trying to use it in a way other than just dumping it in the middle of the sound. And
Right.
that could turn out to be a good thing.
Yeah, could.
I mean, keep in mine, I don't know if you've all seen it, but if you go up the Goodwives River from the boat club and go around Gilbert Island, whatever you want to call it, where I used to live, there's that big kind of bay that's open. If you look at aerial photos from the 1920s of that area, that was all salt grass in there. So that has all eroded over time. And so we could, even us, like refill that in to, and I think the reason, my own personal theory of why that has eroded so much is because the dam, which was put in place, I don't know, early 1800s, whenever it was, has just, over time, just starved all of those salt marshes of sediment deposition. So we could do it with man-made means, so. Next time we have a big dredging project, we gotta keep that in mind.
What do you mean, just throw it all up in there?
Yeah, they like spray it with a fire hose or, just sort of like big dredge, when they have a big dredging project, they have the big hose that goes up on the beach.
Right. And then would that help facilitate the growth of, or do you think that the sediment that's washed down has kind of choked it out?
No, I think it's the opposite, that not enough sediment is coming down, so it just lets it settle.
Is that, on the other hand, why all those oyster reefs exist, because there's not the sediment coming down?
No, I think those live naturally. And
I just remember that Krista, what was her name, saying that those were very unique
yeah,
features that existed in that place and not in a lot of other places.
yeah, I've never seen them elsewhere like we have. We have some good ones.
Yeah.
But I do think if you go to like Florida or something, we talk about Apalachicola Bay oysters, and they have oyster reefs. Like I think that is how oysters, if they're not molested by oyster fishermen. Any other?
It was just, one thing that was just on my mind, since we haven't met in a little bit, I think normally we had the police come in and do a recap of the season, and I don't know that we did that this year, and I think that's always,
We didn't do it. I did ask.
okay.
Do we have many
we can ask
big
again.
marine police events this summer? I don't remember that many, like, big accidents.
Couple of fire ones.
Yeah, we've also had the fire boat, the fire captain, maybe just once or twice.
There was that
Other than a
kayak
few
that-
boats that sank.
There was that kayak that came ashore, and
Did anyone find out
The
about
canoe?
its origin?
Where did it come ashore?
the canoe. I
Nash
said canoe.
Island.
No, the one
Oh,
at the, yeah, the one that was down at the yacht club.
I don't know if I saw that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Had a sandwich.
A kayak came ashore at Pratt Island,
Pratt
got
Island.
taken by the Marine Police, I think, to the yacht club's docks. And it looked like it had been, it had like sandwiches, and it had like a stick in it that was holding the gunnels apart. I mean, it looked like somebody had just been using it. It wasn't that it was drifting for months and months.
Not when it
And
got loose
they
from
were,
the racks.
there was a period, I think they actually mobilized a number of the Marine,
Stanford, Norwalk, or over here.
yeah, a number of the Marine divisions to look for bodies, whatever. And I think nothing ever came of it, so that was kind of a
Yeah.
puzzle,
4 weeks ago?
As I said,
Yeah,
a month
something
ago.
like
Yeah,
that.
give it, yep.
something like that.
Yeah, I happened to drive down there that afternoon, and the fire department was walking the boat with the wheels.
Yeah.
So cool, by the way. I was like, oh, look at that.
Sea lights.
I thought they were just training, but there's like 9 boats out there, they all
Yeah,
got their lights
so-
on, so, not the case.
I guess the other thing to try to put on the agenda is if there are interesting speakers to bring in, and maybe that's something everybody can think about.
It may not fit in as well for just having 5 or 6 meetings. I think like we've had speakers in the past, but we've had a fuller schedule of meetings, and so they were sort of fillers. I mean, good fillers, we learned a lot from a lot of speakers, but if they come in and you say you're just gonna keep them to 30 minutes, it usually goes on to 45 or an hour, just with how things work.
All right. Anything else? All right, motion to close the meeting. That's our keyword, right? What's the keyword?
No. I think all we have to do is say adjourning.
Adjourning. All right, we're adjourning this meeting. We can't talk anymore.
And we can't sit around and gag.
Yeah, right.
I forgot.